Welcome back into HQ, brought to you by Capital One. We're just 22 days away from finding out who wins the Heisman, and it does appear we are down to two players, although Cam Ward would like a word there. Ashton Jeanty trying to break Barry Sanders' single-season rushing record. That has stood for 36 years, and Travis Hunter, the Colorado two-way star, barely missing a snap on either side of the ball. He does seem to be running away with it. So we're going to give you a lot of arguments. First, we're going to send it over to Mackenzie Brooks, because Mackenzie, you're looking at this from a sports line perspective. How do we evaluate the Heisman race as of now and how it could change?
So we're essentially looking at a two-man race, I think is a, optimistic way to look at it. Obviously, someone's minus 400 and someone's plus 400. But what if? What if Ashton Jeanty could make it? What would it take for him to catch Hunter? Now, Hunter, around minus 400, it's almost around a 67% chance to win it when you take out the juice from the odds makers. So Jeanty's really looking for that 33% window. What's the 33% chance that Travis Hunter doesn't just keep acting like Travis Hunter and continue to win games for the Big 12? So if we get ourselves into that 33% chance, now we're looking at, okay, can Jeanty do what he needs to do? Can he break Barry Sanders' record? Now, earlier this year, we've been tracking it all year, and it's been a coin flip of will he make it? Now, standing right now, this Wyoming game that they have, we have him projected for almost 200 yards. This will be a massive, massive tell for us. Does this team care about him winning the Heisman and racking up his stats, or do they want to rest him if they go up big against this lesser opponent and care about the playoffs? So this specific game, and if he can get to those almost 200 yards, will be very, very telling of the storyline of the rest. Then you go to Oregon State, projected for, again, just under 200 yards. So once we get to that championship game, we are still under Barry Sanders' record at 2,471 yards. However, that puts him on a very good path if he makes that playoff game, which he likely will, to then be able to break the record. So that's when the Heisman voters decide, okay, is it worth it knowing that he will get there once he gets to the playoffs? Do we even care? And that also encounters, Hunter not doing what Hunter's been doing. So this is kind of the math and the path for Jeanty to get to Barry Sanders' record here.
Okay, there you go. By the way, Barry Sanders' record, in case you were wondering, is 2,628. So we have Ashton Jeanty coming in at 2,631. However, gentlemen, what is up, my good friends? Let's bring in Chip Patterson, Tom Fornelli here. Both of you are going to make arguments. One is going to make an argument for Ashton Jeanty to win the Heisman. One is going to make the argument for Travis Hunter. Chip, I know you're a little salty about the way this segment has turned out. No? Who's salty here?
No, there's no sodium here. I'm so privileged to be able to make the case for Ashton Jeanty, a true American hero. I mean, we saw Sportsline projections there, but Ashton Jeanty has been exceeding the expectations placed upon him at every single turn. When you go back to Lone Star High School in Texas, he's overlooked. His only power conference offers are from Kansas and Cal, and instead he goes to Boise State. And even after being the Mountain West Offensive Player of the Year, he could have hit the transfer portal for a bag, but he stayed committed. I mean, I am privileged to argue for Ashton Jeanty, someone who defines hard work pays off.
Look, Chip, I'm just going to tell you, I'm on your side. Tom Fornelli sent me a very nice birthday text message and then followed it up with that he just had to get new progressive lenses and asked if I wanted some. So, Tom, I am on the side of Chip Patterson here and Ashton Jeanty. However, for the player who will likely win it, we believe, make the case for Travis Hunter.
I think Travis Hunter's done an incredible job of making his own case. And I want to start by saying Ashton Jeanty is a very good player, having a wonderful season, a season very deserving of finishing in second place in the Heisman voting, because that is where he will finish. Because if you look at Travis Hunter, as Mackenzie just so wonderfully broke down, Ashton Jeanty is chasing Barry Sanders' record, which means he's doing something that's been done before. Whose records are Travis Hunter chasing? Nobody, because he is an absolute unicorn. He is the best player in college football, and he plays on both sides of the ball. As a wide receiver, he is going to finish with over 1,000 yards receiving and 10 touchdowns. He currently leads Colorado in interceptions and passes broken up, despite the fact that teams refuse to throw the ball in his direction because he is that good. And then you just look at the Iron Man aspect. He has played 1,147 snaps of football this year. The next closest player is Buffalo linebacker Red Murdoch, who's played 926, but he's done it in one more game. The next closest player, who's only played in 10 games like Hunter has, is Syracuse offensive lineman Mark Petrie at 838, or 308 snaps fewer than Travis Hunter has played to this point. And the one thing I always argue when it comes to the Heisman, it's about the 4 S's: star power, story, stats, and success. Star power, Travis Hunter's in commercials. He shows up on college football pregame shows during Colorado's bye weeks as a special guest because he's already a celebrity. Story, he's the former #1 recruit in the country who had offers from every school in the country, but instead decided to go to an HBCU at the FCS level in Jackson State because he knew he was so good that he was going to get wherever he wanted to go, no matter where he went to school. And as far as stats, I mentioned it. He's going to have over 1,000 yards receiving and 10 touchdowns. He's one of the best defensive backs in the country. And success, Colorado was 4-8 last year. They're currently 8-2 and on pace to win the Big 12 and get to the college football playoff. If you are the best football player in the country and your team is in the college football playoff, guess what? Nobody else has a chance to win the Heisman Trophy.
Well, building on that team success, I mean, Boise State's got a better chance of making the college football playoff than Colorado does right now. And I think that if, as it's currently projected, Boise State is in the running for that bye, if they get that bye, if the Heisman voters are sitting there with their ballots in front of them and they see on Selection Sunday, Boise State revealed with a bye to the quarterfinals of the first ever 12-team playoff, that is going to really get their attention. And while I don't think that it's a most valuable player award, it is by definition the most outstanding player award. There are some of those 800+ voters who do approach it with an MVP type attitude. So you've got Boise State, which is for the 21st century sort of the first college football Cinderella. Apologies, Amanda, Fiesta Bowl memories. I know. But I think that a Heisman voter would want to cement the idea that Ashton Jeanty, the MVP of this Boise State team that represents the Cinderella breaking through, because Boise State with a first round bye in this 12-team playoff would be a massive breakthrough type moment for someone who has not been tracking this program. And so I could see from the team success angle, Ashton Jeanty really getting a lot of Heisman love for that as well.
Do either of you can just raise your hand, do you get a Heisman vote?
I'm a voter.
Okay, we can't see Tom
Chip,
there.
who you
Okay, both
voting
of you
for?
are voters. So
Who
that's
you
very
voting for,
interesting.
Chip?
You're not going to trap me. I'm not. No. Heisman. Listen, I already had to send a blood sample and hair to the Heisman Trust for my approval this year, so I'm not going to have them come to me. All right, I'm not going to give up my vote.
Well, let me ask you this though, Tom. If Colorado doesn't make it to the Big 12 title game, does that play a factor in this, or has he just locked it up already?
He hasn't locked it up. It would play a factor. It would depend on how Ashton Jeanty finishes. I mean, listen, right now, Travis Hunter is clearly the favorite. We saw the odds earlier, but the season's not over yet. There are still 2 weeks left to play. Somebody else could emerge. You don't know what's going to happen. Both of these teams could struggle down the stretch. And if, say, Miami suddenly goes on a tear, wins the ACC, and gets a first-round bye in the playoff, and Cam Ward plays incredible, he's in the running. If Indiana upsets Ohio State this weekend and Curtis Work has a great game, suddenly he enters the picture. So it's not over yet for me, and I know it's not over yet for Chip, but based on what we have, the information available to us right now of what's happened, it feels like there's really only one logical option.
Yeah, one quick follow on that. Like, in all seriousness, the way that I approach my process as a voter is to not even think about it like a running scoreboard. Just totally put it off until you sit down at the end of the season when it's time to turn that thing in so you can have all the information available. And so in that sense, anybody who's competing on Conference Championship Saturday on that massive stage, great chance to stand out. You have an opportunity to do something that someone sitting at home does not.
And both of these guys, all of the guys you mentioned, there's a couple dark horses as well, looking to make a statement here in the final couple of weeks. Guys, we appreciate it. You know you're my favorite show on Saturday. Saturday night, I like to text Chip and Tom that I'm watching live, the Cover 3 podcast, latest episode, their Locks podcast, getting locks for the games coming up here in week 13 of the college football season.